again. Uh, this is my other Volkswagen. This is a 67, the 1967. I bought this one about 3 years ago. And the reason I bought this one 3 years ago was because I've been trying to find the car that we had, my wife and I, going to college. And this is the same car, a Java Green 67 Bug. It's one of my favorites. I love it because of the color. And my wife, who's an art teacher, a former art teacher, she fell in love with it just because of that. This is the car that my son was born in, and we had this 67 green Bug just like this one back in 1970, from about I want to say 1969 up until about 1983. And we just loved the car. We used it going everywhere. We had it was our do everything car in. We hauled hay in the back of it, and it was exactly the same car, the same color interior, everything. And so for years I tried to find one, and it took me a long time to find a Java Green. The wheels are original. The running board on the other side is original. This one has been replaced, this running board. But there's no rust in the floor pan, which is pretty common with a car of this vintage. It's hard to find them anymore that don't have rust in the pan, and this one does not. So we've done the whole interior. I've taken the original engine out. The engine is the original engine, and I pulled it out to reseal it, and I had a friend in a shop that I did not want the engine rebuilt. I wanted to get it resealed because it's got great compression, it runs good, it's got very good power, the fuel economy is still outstanding, and everything works right. But it leaked badly through the pushrod tube seals when I bought it, and which is pretty common. And it had the axle boots were leaking. And so when I pulled the engine out, I just went ahead and replaced the axle boots. The carburetor is the original 30P1CT-1 carburetor, and that has not been just rebuilt, it's been totally refurbished, so it's been remachined. It's got new bushings for the throttle shaft. Throttle shaft bushing's been replaced, so it doesn't leak gasoline anymore. And that's why that's a pretty major deal, just to get that carburetor original to work like it's supposed to. So I didn't want to buy an aftermarket one. That's the original, Solex carb. So, and this is the original bumper for the rear. It's got the slants for the overriders, and but it is original, so it's not perfect. And I left it on there because I wanted a car that is not a show car. I don't want a show car because I've already had the show cars, and if I have a show car, I won't drive it. And this one, I wanted to drive it, and it's just fun to drive. And that's what makes the Volkswagen so much fun. Is especially nowadays, it's very engaging to just take this and drive it. The interior has all been redone. It's got the original style floor mats, and if you see the headliner, and that takes a little bit of tricking. I can do the seat covers and so on myself, but I just had the fellow in town do the seat covers while he had the headliner out, because they had to match the door panels and so on. And so everything on it is new. The radio is the original Sapphire 5 radio. That's a VW radio, but it's AM, just an AM radio. It does not work. I've got another one that I'm going to put in eventually that does function, and everything else works fine in the car. And the trunk has been mostly. I wanted the car to be all original, and it is. And I just replaced the cover for the dash cover here. That's just a new. That's from Wolfsburg West, and so is the liner. And this is the original toolkit that came with the car. It's still there, and everything else is really nice shape. So it's not the original gas cap. That's a different later style, but it works. And the gas caps, they can end up leaking, and you get the smell inside if you don't have them sealed properly. So that's why I put a newer one on. This is the way you would buy it from a dealer back in 1967. And it's still got the original seatbelt retractors, and these are pretty iffy. They need to be rebuilt oftentimes, and they were for 67 and 68 only. So otherwise, the seat, and what's nice about it is that under the battery tray is in good shape, so it doesn't, there's no holes or anything there, which is pretty typical with a bug of this era. And one thing you notice about the 67s is that they are much more they're much more engaging to drive in modern traffic, especially when you compare to an earlier bug like my other one, the 1960. That's got the 36 horse engine, and totally different. It's still really fun to drive, but it's not going to keep up with traffic by any means, and it's certainly going up hills and whatnot, whereas this one actually will. And right now, this is it's November 12th, something like that, and it's cold. Right now it's about probably, I want to say 39 degrees or so, 38 degrees, something like that, and the heat's on. And the heat's on this car, and the best thing about it is that it does not smell. There's no exhaust smell. It's very common with a earlier bug that when you have the heat on, whether it's in a 40 horse engine or 36 horse, you're going to get exhaust smell through the heater vents. But in this car, I don't have the smell. Yeah, one of my goals is to get the radio working, but the wipers work and the lights work. Everything works fine, and the turn signals work. I had to replace the turn signal switch, and that's already been done. The horn works. This car is also known for its handling compared to other bugs. This has it's settled down more on the rear end on a 67, so it handles extremely well for a bug. It handles much better than the earlier bugs, which had a real problem with rolling. The earlier, like oval window bugs in the early 60s, they were notorious for rolling over under fast speed turns and whatnot. This one does not. This one settles down really well in the rear end. So it actually, I used to think it was a cheap Porsche when I was a kid. And it's not geared low like a bus or like a VW thing. So they actually, you can go 60 or 70 on the freeway. Although I do recall that when I was younger, I never drove these over 60 on the highway, on the freeway, because I was too much into fuel economy.